Hi, my beauties. So, I'm gonna do a little story time about things that I wish I knew when I was younger. But before I do that, I do have a pop-up on another video. I will tell you that it's one of my recent ones and it's not hidden. No one's really picking up on it. And that's what's kind of funny. But I figured I'd show you some of the things or the items, kind of hair, that are going to be in the pop-up giveaway. One is the Bliss Lemon and Sage Body Butter. Two of the Matrix Biolage Cleansing Conditioners. They're kind of like When. They don't have sulfates, so they don't suds up, but they clean and it's much more healthy for your hair. And the Wonder Beauty Under the Eye Gold Masks. So that's what's going to be in the pop-up, because the pop-ups are just little giveaways that I do. Once I hit 350 subscribers, I'm going to do a big giveaway. But we have to get there first. So tell your friends. So, things that I wished I knew when I was younger. Honesty is always best. We typically, when we're young, want to keep from getting in trouble, so not necessarily lie, but sometimes omit things and bend the truth, so to speak. And it never works out. Never. It's always best to be honest, and something I wished I knew, and to be confident in yourself. I had almost no confidence in myself when I was young. So having that confidence to be who you are, to be quirky, be silly, be dorky. You want to put blue in your hair, put blue in your hair. Just be confident. And if you're confident, you can rock any look. Any look. As long as you're confident, because it will show through. Confidence does. So, wish I'd known that. And sometimes Mom is right. There have been so many times in my life that I just wished I'd listened more to the little life things that my mom would tell me. Like, always moisturize. Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. Because let me tell you, if you do, it'll help avoid the little fine lines and wrinkles. You can't prevent them, but you can stall them. You don't necessarily need to get them earlier than you should. And your thoughts don't dictate your life. We all have that inner voice, those thoughts that just kind of, we have a tendency to listen to it too much when we shouldn't, and not enough when we should. But it doesn't have to be, you can sit there and say, well, I never went to college, I never got more education. That doesn't have to dictate your life. It's never too late to go back to school. When I went to school, there was a woman there that was like 70 years old. she just wanted to continue her education. And I was like, wow, you rock. And so, doesn't have to be like that. And you're born with a certain amount of intelligence. I do believe that. But you can add to your intelligence by studying, by reading, by listening to people, particularly our elders. That was one thing that my mom had taught us, me and my sister. And I remember this woman, she was so old, or at least she seemed that way to me. I'm not sure exactly how old she was, but Sadie. I loved to sit and talk with her. It was fascinating. We had another neighbor that I used to follow him around all the time. His name was Odell. And I would watch him fix his car or do stuff in his yard. Then when I was 15, the summer that I was 15, I spent on my great aunt and uncle's porch. Them sitting in the swing, both of them talking at the same time. So I learned how to multitask because I had to pay attention to each conversation because it wasn't the same conversation. He was talking about one thing, she was talking about something else at the same time. And I got good at that. And that was some of my happiest times, was just sitting and talking with them and hearing the stories. Like my great uncle, he was born in 1900. And he would tell me, his first experience of watching Halley's Comet. And, when cars became a thing. And, just that kind of thing. And I miss that, and I miss him a great deal. Being positive can change your life. If you look at people and look at some of the most successful, and I don't mean the richest, okay? Success isn't equivalent to riches, in my opinion. Success is having a very happy life. Now, sometimes what makes you happy is the work that you do. Sometimes, for that work, you have to go to college. Some of it, you could go to trade school. So college, that's just one option in life. It's not the only option. It is if you want to be a doctor. You have to go to college, but, there are other things. Being an artist, you don't need college to do that. You just need the talent and the drive so that you can be happy. But being positive, if you look at some of the most unhappiest people in the world, they're very negative. So, being positive can change your life. It can change your attitude. Your health can be, because when you're negative all the time, everything's so run down and you get run down. And in doing so, you could make some bad choices. So just being positive about things. Try it for like a week. That you're only going to be positive. You're not going to be negative about anything. And see if it doesn't affect your happiness. in life. You know, again, being yourself, okay? Like, another one of the stroke fibromyalgia things. My brain is just, bear with me. We may go back to that. Learning how to say no. I had such a hard time. I still do. Someone will ask me to do something and it's like, sure, I'll do it. Or, you know, hey, let's go here, or let's go there. I have a hard time saying no. That's also part of why I have 3 dogs. Someone had a dog that, you know, and that was Marley. And to keep him from having to go to the shelter, I convinced my husband we needed to have him. Because I can't say no. Now that one I don't regret at all. I love my boy. But in not being able to say no, I've been walked on a lot. And I wish I'd known it was okay to say no. It's perfectly okay to say no. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or selfish or any of that. You just know how to say no. Try new things. My sister, when she turned 50, she went skydiving. Now, you don't have to go to that extreme, because I'm not jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. But, you know, you're never too old to try new stuff. Try new food. Learn about another culture. You know, try anything. Try a different genre of books. We all have our favorites. Like my mom, all she reads is romance novels. And, you know, I've tried to tell her, you know, what about a mystery? Or, you know, something about history. No. And it's like, you know, just try. Try new food. You might like it. You may not. You know, when I worked for Disney Cruise Line, I went on my training cruise. That was fun. 3 days, no husband, no kids. But anyway, I decided, since all the food was included, okay, I was going to try new things. A lot of things went back. Like I discovered I do not like tomato bisque, which is cold tomato soup. Marley, you're moving the camera, darling. Go lay down. Be a good boy. No, go lay down. Be good. Be a good boy. Go. No. Mama's doing something. Mama's doing something. Yes. Go lay down. Come on. Now. He has just been like glued to me. I don't know why. It's okay to not be perfect. And to live your life for yourself. You're not being selfish by doing that. I spend a great deal of my time worrying about what others thought. Striving to get the perfect grades for my dad. Just, you know, altering who I was to please others. that was wasted time. Be yourself. You don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. And the more that you try to strive for that, the more stress you're putting on yourself. Be free. And being well off does not mean being rich. Some of the richest people were poor. Having that happiness, having your family, living life to the fullest, that's true wealth. And I wish I had known that. Wish I had known that loving yourself was a prerequisite to loving others. It is very difficult to truly love other people if you can't love yourself. Once you can accept yourself for who you are and love yourself, you'll realize, and it just opens up a whole new world. It took me a very long time. Now there's things that I don't like about myself. Like, I'm not thrilled with my weight right now. I've not always been this. When I was younger, I used to weigh 110. And now I don't. But that's something that I can work on, and I am working on it. But just loving yourself doesn't mean you have to love every little bit. I truly wish I didn't go through some of the things that I did when I was young. However, those are things that shaped who I am today. And I kind of like myself. You have to just learn to love yourself. It's so important. Some people, and it's not just females. There's something called the broken wing syndrome. And that's where you meet someone and you think, I could change them. No, you can't. They have to change for themselves. If they're not willing to change for themselves, nothing you do is going to change them. And that's the broken wing syndrome. You can fix it. It's something that I've always kind of done, brought people into my life, trying to help them. And it's blown up in my face more times than it's worked. My nephew is very much the same way. He wants to help fix someone, and if they're not willing to change, you're not going to get them to. And helping others, that's real happiness. It is for me. I do like to help people. I've helped several of my kids' friends. Like I said, a lot of it has blown up in my face. But it doesn't stop me from trying to help. If there's something I can do to help someone, I will do it. Without question. That's just who I am. Because there's been times when I've needed help. And, I believe what you put out there, you're going to get back. So if you put out positivity, helpfulness, love, that's all going to come back to you. You put out negativity, hate, and selfishness and everything, that's going to come back to you. So again, it comes back to that positive thinking mentality. Knowing that change is inevitable. Something I wished I'd known when I was younger. Although I did have a lot of change in my youth, moving from here to there and everywhere, but I did have some constants, and that was great. It's what kind of got me through. My sister was my constant. But just knowing that, things do change. People change. I ran into a hard spot about 10 years ago. And I moved in with my sister, me and my family, and with her and her family. That did not go well. It was a very miserable year and a half. I love my sister to death. We are so close. We cannot live with each other. Because we both have grown and changed, and not living with each other for so many years, a lot of differences. And sometimes that clashed. And not wasting time on others that just don't matter. I had commented on Facebook on a friend's post once, and this girl with an opposing view, we were kind of going back and forth, and at one point, because she started getting insulting my kids. That's where I draw the line. I can handle it if you insult me. Okay? I've grown. I know it doesn't matter. Do not insult my kids. Do not harm my kids. Because a whole nother Linda comes out when that happens. And I told her, I said, your opinions of me don't matter because you're insignificant in my life. And that was the truth. She didn't matter to me. So, we're not friends. We're not anything. I knew who she was because we went to the same school. But, that was the truth of the matter. Her existence was insignificant in my life. And she took that to mean that I was saying she was insignificant, and blocked me. And I was like, whatever. I wasn't saying, because everybody is significant. She just was insignificant in my life. Okay? I'm sure she mattered to a lot of people. Just not in my life. And you really should live in the moment. And I wish I'd known this too. Just living in the moment. Not in the past, not in the future. You want to plan for your future and not repeat past mistakes. But as far as living, you need to live in the now. I've spent a great deal of time, kind of living in the past. you can't change it. Once it's the past, it's the past. Nothing you do is going to change any of that. So let it go. You can plan for the future, but if you try to live in the future, you're going to miss out on today. Today is what matters the most. You can plan for the future, but just live for today. And what is right for me may not be right for others. What's right for you may not be right for others. And I think as a whole, with society, we've lost sight of that. We think, well, I'm right, or this is right for me, so therefore it should be for everybody. It doesn't work that way. We're all individuals. We have our own opinions, our own thoughts, and everything, and that is what makes this whole country fantastic. So we're all different. We have different ideas, different thoughts, and we should embrace that. And if we did, we'd be much happier on the whole. There'd be less negativity out there. Right now, there's so much negativity. So we need to all take our little part and do something. And, by doing something nice for someone else might see it and do something. And it just keeps going. And, it's a living thing. And I just wish, in doing stuff for yourself to make yourself happy is not being selfish. Like I decided to take on doing a YouTube channel, doing Instagram, doing the whole makeup and everything. That didn't make me selfish, because in all honesty, I've been much happier. I've been more engaging. Because like I said, I spent years in just a depressed funk that I just stayed in bed. I didn't engage. I didn't do anything. Well, now I am. And it's made everyone so much happier around me. So doing for yourself, taking care of yourself, is not selfish. Because in doing that, it will affect everyone in your life. And if you can just be positive about things, that affects everybody in your life. And I just wish I'd known these things when I was young. I just think everything would have been better and happier. And so all I can do is take it from this point on. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be positive and, and think about things. And every now and then something will pop up and I'll kind of start to slip. And then I have to remember the positivity aspect. So with that, be positive, do for others. If you like what you saw, ring the bell, punch the thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. And don't forget about that pop-up. Don't put anything on this video about it. You need to go find that video. It's one of the recent ones. It's not hidden. And tell your friends to subscribe, because I love everybody. And with that, goodbye, my beauties.